Good morning. It's Jonathan Barrett with the morning debrief for Wednesday the 28th of April. Well, what a night last night. Quite interesting. Great concerns, obviously. S&P downgraded the government debt to junk bond status. That caused quite a bit of concern. It has also spread across through to Portugal, concerning Portugal. As a result of that, we saw the risk aversion trades go on. US dollar went through the roof, gold went through the roof as well. Also equity prices obviously came tumbling down, and pretty much looking pretty ugly out there. Let's have a look at some of the closes, and let's run through and see what's going on. Okay, first of all, as you can see, the Dow, pretty ugly close there. The Dow closed down, there we are. The Dow closed down basically to just under 2%, 1.9, down 213 points. The S&P was down 28, the Nasdaq was down 51. So in terms of that, knocked off a couple of percent. Major concern is debt problems and whether or not that contagion could continue to spread through to Portugal. And that is a little bit of a concern there on it. Moving that bond to junk ratings basically gives investors no support whatsoever. So that is a concern. However, on the other side, we saw consumer confidence in the US rise to its highest levels since 2008. So the market's moving, and I feel that this is just a bit of a jitter. But that jitter is a contagion that could spread, so we've got to be quite cautious. Remember, we still feel that Greece will be bailed out by the euro. They have to wait up until the 19th of May to come up to the plan in terms of the funding, and if they can do that, then this will all be placated. So this is a dip. It might last for a couple of days, but we still feel that given on how it spreads, if it does spread, it's more of a concern. But if it doesn't spread to Portugal and Spain and the like, then I think it's contained. But anyway, let's see how that unfolds. As we mentioned, major news last night, I guess consumer confidence in the US rises to its highest level since 2008. Obviously, that was pretty important. Okay, so quite a lot of moving and shaking there. Let's see what the market looks like. I guess the most important thing here is with the euro. Euro's broken through some pretty major areas, and it does look as if the US dollar will firm as a result of that, and probably expect it to continue its fall into Europe and maybe even a little bit later. So under pressure there. As a result of that, the dollar index does look very well bid. Obviously, there it is there. It's broken up through this area here, up through that old high there at 82.40, 82.20, and as long as it stays above that level, I think the market is assuming that it can continue to remain relatively well bid. These indicators here looking bid well, and probably expect some more strength for the US. As we've seen with that Aussie 91.41, now it does look a little bit weak at the moment, and expectations are for it to come back to 90.36. So I think the idea is to put some or add to you long US dollar positions. We are already long US dollars, as you're aware. We're also short the SPY as well. So we're just going to add to positions as they start to continue to deteriorate. Alrighty ho, so that's pretty much on that side. Let's look at some of what happened to gold. Gold had a very strong move there last night, and broken pretty much through to the top side there. And that old high we've had, look, if it stays above it, it looks good, but if that dollar strength trims it a bit, so be it. But at the moment, people are flying to gold as a result of what's occurring. Looking at oil under pressure, 81.83. Obviously, a lot of these ones are coming under pressure due to economic concerns, obviously economic stability, and as a result of this, also as a result of the strong dollar, we're seeing prices just a little bit better, seeing oil prices under pressure. And that's the same for all commodities across the board. Although there are good fundamental stories to be with them, what we are seeing is obviously that flight to US dollars is certainly causing a concern. All you have to do is look at some of the ones like soybean as well. We've seen a fall off in wheat. There we are, under pressure still, probably looking like it's all a little bit weak. Soybeans are the same. When you see that we took profit in our long at 103, we still feel that that can come under a little bit of pressure. The stories are still good, but the market just wants to sort of be long US dollars, and that's effectively what we're seeing. Now, just have a look at that SPY. As we know, equity markets, our market closed at 4,792 on SICOM. This is interesting. This looks like a rounded top, and you know, if we take out that old low here, which is at 4,750, then the chances are we can go a little bit deeper and head down to that 4,600 level. But at the moment, everything looks a little bit weak for it, and probably expect prices to remain a little bit jittery. But within Australia, that resource sector will probably help to hold us up a little bit, but not too much. Okay, now let's have a look at the economic calendar just quickly. We've got all the CPI data today. Let's see what happens on that front. Probably expect no change there, but let's see how it unfolds. But most people are looking for a no change. We do have, obviously, FOM rate decision tonight in the States. That's probably one of the most important things. So let's see how that unfolds, but I would also expect no change at all. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days, there's no doubt about it, particularly with what's happening in Europe. Our core positions at the moment are long US dollars, particularly against the Aussie. We're also short the SPY, and we're still long sugar. We're also short copper as well. Copper had quite a large move last night, down 3.36%. So far, everything's looking good. The main concern is the positions we've got are reduced positions. So really, we're actually break even, particularly on that copper, but we're looking for a bit of a trend to commence. But anyway, that's about it from me. I hope you have a happy trade days trading, and the markets are kind to you. Have a good day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.